So good morning class. This class I am going to explain basically the concept of rationalization. But before we do rationalization of this is basically rationalization of surds, we need to revisit the concept of surds. I mean concept of rational numbers first, then surds. What is a rational number? You all know. That's why I am not telling you to copy. If you like to copy, you can do. Otherwise, don't copy this thing. This is a very common thing. If you go through your NCERT exemplar book, theory is given over there only. But for this special maths class, even we cannot ignore the concept of basic mathematics. That's why I keep a page or pages from textbooks here also. Okay, don't say that special maths class, why you do all these things. You need to understand the concept first and then proceed. So number R is called a rational number if you can express it in the form P by Q, where P, Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. This is the definition given in your textbook. I would like to add one more statement over there. P, Q are prime to each other. Okay. Why P, Q are prime to each other? Because P, Q don't have any common factor between them. So a number of the form R equal to P by Q, where P, Q are integers, Q not equal to 0, and their prime to each other is called a rational number. Okay. What is a irrational number? If we cannot express it in the form P by Q, this is called irrational number. Decimal expansion of rational number is either terminating or non-terminating recurring. Moreover, a number whose decimal expansion is terminating or non-terminating recurring is a rational number. You can define this manner also. Okay. This is either terminating or non-terminating, that will refer as rational number. This we are thinking alternative manner. Decimal expansion of irrational number. See, another term is adding here, non-terminating and non-recurring. It will not be recurring. This is non-terminating, recurring. See the statement, see the difference between these two. Here it is given non-terminating, recurring. Here it is given non-terminating, non-recurring. Okay, all this you are doing it in your class, know it very well. And then next point is all the rational, irrational numbers make up the collection of real number. Real number consists of irrational number like root 2, root 3, root 5, all these things. And rational numbers are 1, 2, 1/3, 4/5, like that. They together will form the set of real number. What is a set? That I will explain in special maths class only. All that is included, it starts from your class 11 course. But as you are going to prepare for all kinds of entrance examination, going to excel over there, concept of set theory is important for you. I will definitely do it in this class. Okay, this will say that it is set of real numbers. Set of real number consists of what then? Set of real number consists of rational numbers as well as irrational numbers. So all the rational and irrational numbers make up the collection of real numbers. I like to say this is set of real numbers. Okay. Now there is a unique real number corresponding to every point on the number line. Also corresponding to each real number, there is a unique point on the number line. All those number line presentation you are doing in class, rational, irrational, you can express in number line, and very interesting method is being discussed in class 9 classes, that by geometrically you know how to represent irrational numbers on the number line. That construction you are doing, nicely with your teachers, Saikat sir, Asim sir and Subrata sir. So I'll assume that all of you know it. Now, if R is rational and S is irrational, then R plus S, R minus S, both are irrational. This I can give you one example, not required. Suppose R is rational, R is equal to 4. And S is root 3, then R plus S is what? R minus S is what? 4 minus root 3. That's why it is told R plus S and R minus N both are irrational number. If you see root 3 irrational, 4 plus root 3 must be irrational, because that is also non-terminating. Decimal representation is there in case of 4 minus root 3 also. Now these rules are valid when you are going to rationalize. You should remember this, note the statement: a student good in mathematics or student in love with mathematics must note down the statement first. See, for real numbers A and B, and this is not real number only. I missed one word over there. For positive real number, root AB equal to root A into root B, root A by B equal to root A by B, root A plus root B, root A minus root B, A minus B, and this thing A square minus B square form will give you A square minus B, and this one just by A plus B whole square form. I think you have learned this formula, this expansion in class 8, x plus y whole square. Have you done it or not? Yes, you know it very well. X square. So by using this, we can get root A plus root B whole square, A plus 2 root AB plus B. Alright. Now, another thing. To rationalize the denominator of this thing, we need to multiply it by conjugate surd. Although MCRT is not obeying any specific rule, this is fine, okay, but if you go systematically, I'll tell you, if a surd is of this form, A plus root B, then its conjugate surd is A minus root B. For rationalization of one of these, we'll multiply by the conjugate. This one, A plus root B, has conjugate A minus root B. A minus root B has conjugate A plus root B. These are surds. What are surds then? Those irrational numbers in the form of root 2, root 3. These are surd quantities. They are pure surd. Okay. But A plus root B is also, here it is mixed one. That a real part is there, and that is a rational part is there, and a irrational part is there. A plus root B or A minus root B. This part is irrational and this part is rational. This will make a surd. Even if you say that, no, why you can't say this one is a surd? Root A plus root B is fine. This is also surd. No problem. Okay, these are all surds because their root cannot be determined properly. Root means that root 2, the example, 1.41 we take the approximate value, but it continues that. Root 3 also, 1.732 we take the approximate value, but that after decimal, that is, that after decimal, those number of digits continues up to infinity. No one can stop over there. And these are some basic rules which follows from indices or exponents. Probably you did in class 8. Rule of exponent was there, that a to the power p into a to the power q is a to the power p plus q. A to the power p to the power q is a to the power p q. A to the power p by a to the power q is a to the power p minus q. And a to the power p into b to the power p is a b to the power p. Have you seen all these things or not?
Yes.
Fine. So these are called laws of exponents. Will differ for a greater than 0. Laws of exponents. Now, one important thing I wanted to tell you, why they are saying for positive real number A and B. This you must know clearly from this level. Suppose I have root over 15. Then can I write this one root minus 3 into root minus 5? Or can I write this one as root 3 into root 15? Which one valid? First one or second one? This is a learning, and this learning, so long you will know mathematics, so long will be touched with this subject is very important. Which presentation is correct? You can't say I am wrong in second one, because if you multiply inside root, minus 3 and minus 5 becomes that's why I have taken this as example. Have you noticed this one for positive real number A and B? For positive real number, why people are saying like this for positive real number? Because this is not allowed in higher mathematics or any kind of mathematics syllabus. This cannot be included. Two negative quantities, root minus x into root minus y, is never equal to under root minus x minus y. We cannot multiply it in this manner. This is a totally incorrect presentation of multiplication. This is not allowed. So this thing is never allowed. This will be the introduction of a topic in mathematics that is called complex number. We'll do little bit of complex number also in class 9. Okay, get ready for those. In future we are going to do. But we must know, we must take the extract from your syllabus, which will help you to understand the subject better way, because normal coursework you are doing with your teacher, but these things is not possible by your teacher in a class to mention, because so many chapters they have to finish because of your exam. They can sometimes we say that in class 19 classes, but we can't say always. This can be discussed here. So root of minus a into root of minus b is never equal to root ab. This operation is not valid. That's why textbook they have mentioned this for positive real number a and b. The following identities hold. They never said that root ab will be minus root minus a into root minus b. In fact, that is not allowed. So laws of exponents also, you know, I have written separately here also as laws of indices here, or laws of exponents. You have learned this manner, I know. Even in your class 9 course you have written laws of exponents or laws of indices. Same thing. A to the power m into a to the power n is a to the power m plus n. A to the power m by a to the power n is a to the power m minus n. A to the power n to the power m indices should be multiplied. AB to the power n will be a to the power n into b to the power n, and a by b to the power n is a to the power n by b to the power n. A to the power 0 equal to 1, and a to the power minus n equal to 1 by a to the power n. These are very common rule of indices. You must have done, or you will do it with me here. Okay. So these are laws of indices. These are very common laws. You are using it from class 7, but you didn't know so much of exponent that time. You have done it. Now, what is meaning of root? That also I need to explain. If there is root 4, you say the value is 2. But in mathematics, root 4 and root 9 or root 16 always don't arise. We need to operate with root 3, cube root of 7, 10th root of 5, 20th root of 2. Like these quantities are also there in mathematics. How to deal with those numbers? This is just an introductory class. If there is a symbol like this thing, this will be read as nth root of a. We'll write this one as e to the power 1 by n. Okay. So for example, if you say it is root 7. Root 7 means 7 to the power 1 by 2. Cube root of 4, it means 4 to the power 1/3. Okay. Now by using law of exponent, nth root of AB, nth root of AB, how can we write nth root of AB? Nth root of AB is nothing but AB to the power 1 by n, and see the exponent law AB to the power n is, so we can write this one as a to the power n, and then nth root of a to the power n. Nth root of a by b, that will be nth root of a by nth root of b. Nth root of a to the power n is going to be what? A to the power 1 by n to the power n. This is nothing but a. Okay. Yeah, that 1 by n into n will give you 1, so the value is 1. Now, if there are two roots in use like this, nth root of a, what is the meaning of this? See, let me explain this. Nth root of, when you were solving Hall and Knight, there is another book, good book there. You can order, or you can have this one as a collection for future. Algebra by Hall and Knight, both part 1 and part 2 will be good for you. Hall and Knight, okay? Hall and Knight. I did not write the name of the book over there. This is another good book, and basically on algebra, part 1 and part 2. This thing going to be nth root of a to the power 1 by m. nth root of a is what? A to the power 1 by n. 1 by a to the power 1 by n. Nth root of a. Okay. So if you don't write in root form, then basically all these operations we can simplify this manner also. A to the power 1 by m, a to the power 1 by n is a to the power 1 by m plus 1 by n. A to the power 1 by m 1 by n is a to the power 1 by nm. A to the power 1 by n divided by a to the power 1 by n is this. This I have kept as separate collection because this will help us to evaluate all the roots after expressing the root in this form, exponent form. There is root. See, in this root there is a root. We have expressed in the exponent form. Nth root of a, we write a to the power 1 by n. Nth root of ab, we write ab to the power 1 by n. When you write, this right hand side presentation will be in exponent form and left hand side will be root form. So whenever you are getting root form, it is better to express in exponent form and then you do the necessary manipulation by using the laws of indices or exponents. No one told you that mn will be integer here. They may be fraction also. They may be negative fraction also. It doesn't matter. Okay. So all those things, just quick revision was there. Let us see some example here on this calculation. You might have done it before. That a to the power m into a to the power n, a to the power m plus n, this is one illustration. 3 to the power 4 into 3 square, 4 plus 2 will be added, this will be 3 to the power 6. 5 to the power 7 divided by 5 cube is what? 5 to the power 7 by 5 cube, that is, you are subtracting, you are using this law. This is going to be a to the power m minus n. Okay. And a to the power m to the power n, this is shown here for this example, is what? Indices are multiplied there. So 6 square to the power 4 will be 6 to the power 8. A to the power minus m 1 by a to the power m. This is 1 by 5 square. 7 to the power 1 by 3 is cube root of 7. 10 to the power 2 by 5. 10 to the power 2 by 5, how do you have expressed this form? This you can write by law of indices only. 10 to the power 1 by 5 whole square. Isn't it? 10 to the power 1 by 5 is what? 5th root of 10. So all of you understand? Now our first class always will be from NCERT exemplar R.D. Sharma like a book. Then when I'll see that you are very good in solving sums from these books, then I'll give you a supply of my notes on the chapter. I have collection of sums, good collection of sums, I'll send it. And then you'll approach sums from those books I have prescribed you. Okay? But those books you can read it. And that another book is there, I forgot to write over there, that is called Mathematical Circle. There are also 4 authors are there, because these kind of books one author will not be enough. Many authors sit together, and that Mathematical Circle, there is a history. Every Sunday those people, those mathematicians in Russia used to meet and they make the book. That is called Mathematical Circle. It's a very good book for reading. That is also a very low cost book. You can keep that also as collection. I forgot to write it there, I'll write it later. I'll send you. You just collect one book first, and that book I'll tell you, that book you can read even when you are at the age of, say, more than 20, more than 30. At this age, I read that book also. It's a good reading book which can be done, which can be read by student of any level. Myself, I think I am a student like you. I also read some book. That is that kind of book. Mathematical Circle, the first author's name I can remember, Dmitry Fomin. And there are 3 more authors. That is also nice book. Okay? Whatever. I was telling you. The first human addition. No, I never took the name of R.D. Sharma. R.D. Sharma, you can have your collection. Some of you have bought already. I have no objection in it. R.D. Sharma, I also have. Sometimes I'll send worksheet from there. But my requirement in this class, basically I am telling you those textbooks, NCERT and NCERT exemplar book that you always need. Then what I am telling you, you will approach sums from my problem set and then you go for doing sums from those books. Okay. You will not find a chapter on surds and indices over there, but chapters based on surds and indices are there, definitely. Okay. So you should learn from basic. Okay, this exercise I have taken from your textbook. These are straight NCERT sums. All of you can do these kind of sums, and these are exemplar sums. You can see. But today's class, as this is introductory class, I don't know what you have done at home, what you have done it in school properly. I don't know. Okay, I'd like to take some example from my own collection. NCERT you can do yourself on your own. This is third exercise, 9, 10, 11. I'll expect that you have started sums from there. No one will tell you that you finish all the sums and send the homework. This class is not like that. This class you will practice definitely, but you will think more. Okay, the thinking process will be started when I do a chapter which you need always in mathematics in all topics, that is called permutation and combination. That is another topic we'll do in class 9. This is included in your class 11 course, but when you are going to appear for entrance exam, you need the concept of permutation combination first. That also you have to learn. After doing this topic, surds indices, we'll enter that field. That is called permutation and combination. That is principle of counting is there. Okay, let me take one example from here, from my own collection. Just let us see if they have asked you this kind of simplification. See, express this as square root of single number. Multiply these without a calculator. Simplify these without a calculator. This kind of sums. This kind of sums. Explain these are true or false. These are also there. You can keep a snapshot in your computer. You can practice at home. All of you are very good in it. I know. You can take the snapshot of this thing, keep in your collection. You can practice from there in addition to the NCERT sums. Okay. So let us do simplify this without a calculator. I am showing you some example, not all. You will be able to do it. Root 125. If they have asked you to simplify, how will you simplify? The concept of surds and indices we have learned so far. Mainly exponent we are going to use. Inside root, this you write 5 into 5 into 5. So this is inside square root we are getting a 5 square and 5. Now apply the law of indices. Yeah, this into 5 to the power by 2. This is nothing but 5 to the power 2 to the power half. So 5 into 5 to the power half. This is nothing but 5 root 5. Alright. So root 125 is there. Then you can simplify root 162. It will be 81 into 2. 81 is 9 square into 2. 9 root 2. Similar to that, that's why I did it. Now let us go for this kind of sum where they were asked you to express this as a root of single number, like this part 2 also here. Can I take the 4 inside by using laws of indices? We can definitely take. How? This is nothing but 4 into 3 to the power half. This is nothing but this 4. Can I write this form? 4 square to the power half. You agree on? Yeah, 4 square to the power half we can write. So this is going to be 4 square into 3 to the power half. This is nothing but 48 to the power half. So root 48. I'll tell you to do this one, 6 by root 12. Just practice on your own and then do this one. Root 112 by 175. simplification, just simplification. These are very common sums. 6 by root 12. When you are going to do 6 by root 12, for its simplification, first you need to bring it under one root. This is 6 by root 12. This 6 you can write root 36. Do you agree with me? Because
Yes.
6 is under root 6 square. So root 36 by 12. Now you can bring both of them under root. This you can write as root 3. Am I clear? All of you understand?
Yes.
So now this is the time to simplify this kind of sum. 112 by 175. Root 112 by 175. How do you simplify it? If there is a common factor, you should cancel, or root 60 by 100. If they have asked you to simplify this, root over 60 by 100. This you can write as root over, you cancel 0 and 2, I mean divide by 20. It will be root 3 by 5. But I suggest you not to keep your answer this form. You rationalize the denominator. This is root 3 by root 5. What will be the rationalizing factor here? Root 5 only. So multiply by root 5. Root 5 into root 5. What I did, you understand? I am rationalizing the denominator. I am multiplying by root 5 only to remove the root. So the answer will be root 15 by 5. You always leave your answer this one. Never keep root in the denominator. So you try to do the next sum. 112 by 175. You can practice sums from these in addition to NCERT this exercise. Okay? You copy this sum. Root over 112 by 175. You have to see whether common factor is there or not. Is there any common factor? 7 is the common factor. You cancel it first. It will be 16 by 25. Then 16 is 4 square, 5 square, square 4 by 5 whole square to the power half. So it will be 4 by 5. Okay.